service on this beautiful Sunday morning. It's a little cloudy, but it's really nice. And I don't know where, kids, you're joining me from, but I'm joining you from just outside the wonderful city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And you know what Philadelphia means? The city of brotherly love. So glad you're joining me today. And today, kids, what I want to talk to you about is this idea of climbing trees. Now, I'm actually way up high, so you can see the trees in the background. I'm looking way down, and I'm not actually in a tree. I'm on a little porch at our office, but I wanted to be up here in the trees because that's what I want to talk about today, climbing trees. Kids, how many of us have gone to a parade? I know I used to love that as kids. And 4th of July parade, double loved that. I'm sure you do too. And I can remember as a kid, it was always really hard, right? Where you were just a little bit shorter than other people. I'm not all that tall now, anyways, but they were a little bit shorter than other people, so it was hard to see. And trying to sneak around front. Of my parents were really good about making sure we could be seated so that we could actually see the parade. And that's today's story. It's about a man who saw this parade going by. There's all these people going by, and he just couldn't see because he was just a little bit too short. So, folks, let's do that together, right? Standing at the parade, and he was just too short. And you know what his name was? Zacharias. Zacharias. So this is a story about how Zacharias gets to be a little bit more tall and gets to actually see Jesus. So that's what we're going to read this story today, kids. Zacharias turns to Jesus. Zacharias wanted to see Jesus, but he was too short to see over the crowd. Now here, kids, we can see the picture. This is the crowd that was trying to see Jesus, and he would have been in the back, and he couldn't see anything. He tried to squeeze through the front, but no one would let him. Why doesn't anybody like me? He wondered. Well, I think we all wonder that sometimes. Yeah, why doesn't anybody like me? But he knew the reason. Zacharias was a tax collector who had become rich by cheating the townspeople. So he'd done a lot of things essentially to take money that wasn't his kids, and that's why people didn't like him. Then Zacharias spied a tree. Aha, he thought to himself, I will climb that tree and have the best view of all. Now kids, like, look at this tree right here, right? Like, that's what he did. So he climbed way on up the tree, climb, so that he could look down and see Jesus. Then Jesus stopped under the very tree. And here we see Jesus right here. You can see Jesus right there, kids. See Jesus stopping. Here's Zacharias. Jesus stopping. And here's the crowd over here. Then Jesus stopped under the very tree and looked up at him. Zacharias, Jesus called out, climb down, for I'm coming to your home today. Zacharias could not believe his ears. He jumped down and ran home to get ready. Now, I love that line, folks. Jesus had never met Zacharias before. And all of a sudden he shows up and he's down there. Kids, you got to picture this, right? He's Zacharias climbing up in a tree. And here's Jesus down here. And Jesus goes, Zacharias! Maybe you can even do that with me. Zacharias, come on down here. I'm coming to your house for dinner. You gotta love it. You have to love it, because that's so much the way Jesus was incredibly friendly with people. That man is a liar and cheat, the townspeople cried. Why is Jesus going to his house? So these people were all upset because they knew Zacharias had done some things that were pretty bad. Zacharias realized they were right, and he was ashamed. When Jesus entered this house, he said, Lord, I will give half of everything I own to the poor, and everyone I have cheated, I will pay back 4 times the amount I stole. So Zacharias kind of was like, oh, yeah, those people have a point. I haven't been a very nice man. And obviously, Jesus is calling me to something a little better than what I'm doing right now. Jesus smiled. I love that. Dear Zacharias, today you have become a new person. Now you can truly stand tall. So, kids, I love that story. I mean, there's so much wisdom in it and so many great things we can do with our lives, And one is just, really try to see Jesus. And we see Jesus in other people. We see Jesus in kindness. We see it in love. And we see Jesus especially when we try to be friends with each other. That's so important. And then the other part of this story too, if there's places where we've messed up, our job is to, as best we can, make those things right. That may mean returning something we stole or apologizing for something we said. All those parts are ways to become a new person. And that's what Jesus wants. And that's what Jesus smiles. And the last one, and this is what I really like, kids. Here's a little bit of Bible stuff that Pastor Chuck loves. So, real simply, Jesus never invites anyone over for dinner. Isn't that kind of funny? Because he was traveling all over the place. But you know what he does all the time? He's always inviting himself over to dinner. And I think there's such great wisdom in that, right? Where Jesus is constantly trying to travel and visit other people in their homes. And the beauty of that, right? Like, here's Jesus, Lord of the universe. And he's saying, look, I love you. I care for you. Let's have dinner together. That's pretty good, kids. So I hope you love that story of Zacharias. It sure is a fun one to talk about. And what we're going to do now, kids, is now we're going to do a little prayer together, and then I'm going to bless all of you. And again, reminder for parents, we have a bigger service coming up at 10:30 a.m. on New Church Live, and that'll be an adult service. You're more than welcome to join us, and kids, you're more than welcome to join us too if you want to be there as well. So let me offer a prayer. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and bring you peace and bring you home. Amen. All right, kids. Well, listen, I hope you have a great Sunday, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again next